And we are set to go for our second semifinal in the heavyweight tournament. And this should be a dandy. Trey Telligman, Vitor Belfort. And Telligman, a guy who knows what it's like to work with some of the best, including Ken Shamrock.
I got his business card the whole night.
You can train your whole life, and until you train with world-class athletes, you're not at their level. You make mistakes, and you make a mistake in this game, you're going to lose. And that's what some people don't understand. I've seen some great fighters fighting this thing that have been beat, and people don't even remember them, and that's because they made one mistake, and they made the first mistake, and the other person capitalized on it, or they walked into the other person's strength because they didn't know the fighter they were fighting.
His name is Trey Telligman. His nickname is Trauma, a submission fighter from Texas. 4-0 in reality combat, and you're going to see something a little bit strange about his physique because he had a car accident when he was only a year and a half old, and he lost his entire pectoral muscle. Hence, it's going to be a strange look, but the young man is talented and extremely strong, and his ribs actually are protected, Dr. Istrigo says, because they served almost as a buffer with what has happened to him in the past. Here's his discipline, Jeff.
Well, he is a submission fighter out of the Lion's Den. He works with Ken Shamrock and company, great at joint locks, chokeholds, and because of that grappling background, good at takedowns. He will probably want to bring this fight down to the ground, and what he said about that accident is no excuses. He doesn't want us to dwell on what he looks like. He wants us to dwell on how he fights.
I like that.
All right, time right now for a UFC flashback. And this one is Royce Gracie against Chemo, UFC 3, September 9th, 1994, Charlotte, North Carolina. It was in a quarterfinal round. And watch Royce Gracie with the arm bar working against Chemo. He'll get the submission in just under 5 minutes of a tooth and nail battle. And what a physical war this one was. Here's a look at the ending.
Had a great arm bar there. Chemo had to tap out or lose the arm.
And Gracie was unable to continue in that UFC. UFC number 3, the champion was Steve Jenham, who was an alternate. The first time an alternate had won a championship. Here's a look at Vitor Belfort. His discipline is Vale Tudo, trained by Carlson Gracie, his first UFC. And what a youngster.
I think I'm really focused in my training, you know, and I do everything in my training for can get better. And whatever I need to do, I'm gonna do for get better. And I work hard for this, and I hope I have the talent and the skills for be ready to the real fight.
Here comes Vitor Belfort, the 4-time Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion. 2-0 in reality combat. And some say at only 19 years of age, he has the potential, the raw skills, to be a great one in UFC competition. Fighting and in training since age 9. Actually used the Gracie surname for a while, but he dropped it because he wants to be recognized for who he is, not who he is associated with.
And Belfort's discipline is from the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu clan. Typical Brazilian. He fights this way in his country. This is how they go to battle. He can strike, but he's great at submissions, and I look for him to try to bring this down to the ground and end it there. But he also likes the strikes. He likes to box. He'll throw punches.
Here's a look at the tail of the tape for the second heavyweight tournament semifinal bout. Jiu-Jitsu submission. You can see the difference in age. Belfort is 13 years younger, also 28 pounds lighter. So we saw Royce Gracie dominate the UFC in 1, 2, and 4. Could another of the disciple from the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu style emerge tonight? We'll find out. Right now, the introduction of the fighters. Here's Manny Garcia.
Introducing first and standing to my left, a shoot fighter representing the discipline of submission. He is the two-time US AOK Karate Champion and the Hawaii Freestyle Martial Arts Super Heavyweight Champion. He has a full contact karate tournament record of 75-10 and is undefeated in reality combat fights. Fighting out of Dallas, Texas, he is 32 years old, standing 6 foot 2 inches, and weighing in at 240 pounds. Please welcome Trey Trauma Telligman. His opponent standing to my right, a Carlson Gracie Jiu-Jitsu fighter with an undefeated reality combat record. He was Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champions 5 times in both heavyweight and all weights categories. Originally from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, but currently fighting out of Hollywood, California, he is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. 19 years old, standing 6 feet tall, and weighing 210 pounds. UFC plant. Please welcome Vitor Belfort.
Vitor Belfort against Trey Telligman. The winner takes on Ferruzo. Tank, your thoughts on this bout going in?
Are you ready? I'd have to say that Belfort looks get it on. I'm impressed with the way he looks, but you can't judge a book by its cover. Let's see what happens.
Belfort in the black trunks, Telligman the red and black trunks.
I don't like the passive stance Telligman's taking. I was watching the clips before. It looks like he can let his hands fly. Right in front of us, my God.
Belfort in on a double. Telligman defending, using an underhook there to try to keep Belfort off of him.
Oh, big right hand landed by Belfort.
Good hands.
Real fast hands by Belfort.
Yeah,
oh my.
Telligman doesn't like it. That's why he's trying to get it.
And he got tagged.
He got caught.
And he's in the guard now. He's trying to protect himself in the guard.
But look at the quickness of Belfort.
Unbelievable.
He's got good hands.
Very fast. He's got the guard passed right now. He's a side pass, but
he's on the side mount. We'll see how he can put it together and work on things there.
And Telligman is a bloody mess as Belfort lands that left hand explosively. There's some elbows.
That's not necessarily anything good. He's just hitting the arm right there.
And that is it. McCarthy stepped in. I believe he tapped out.
Okay. Stay right there.
Telligman appears to be okay.
Belfort looked pretty tough there.
Yeah, Telligman saying I'm all right. Telligman was just whispering to John McCarthy, I'm all right. But
yeah, I looked at it and didn't even think twice about it. He looks fine.
Oh my.
Wow.
Belfort. Unbelievable speed in those hands.
Telligman telling the doctors he's okay, but he took a shot and he was bleeding pretty good from just above his right eye.
Yeah, it's one cut from the right eye there that did all that bleeding.
Looked pretty sharp. Looked real sharp.
Vitor Belfort in an explosive performance. And we had heard about him because he was almost in the last UFC prior to the Ultimate.
I bet Telligman wishes he had another pectoral muscle right now.
Well, there's no doubt about this. We have not seen that kind of hand speed in the UFC before.